Greetings and good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fatin binti Anuar, and I am the presenter for this paper titled The Importance of HALALAN TAYYIBAN in Food Consumption Among Adolescents, a Conceptual Analysis. The co-authors that are together with me are Muhammad Nur Mahmad and Muhammad Amzari Tumiran. Today, in the industrialized countries, people have so many choices of food that they can consume and order through their smartphones just by using the tip of fingers. The existence of many food industry and fast food restaurants now may lead to our younger generation to suffer with obesity and many other more diseases. To add, unhealthy food and other high-calorie, high-fat, high-cholesterol meals can still receive halal certification under the scheme's guideline. But to question, are they really carry both halal and tayyib concept? To begin with, according to Research and Markets 2022, the halal market is expected to reach $3.9 billion by 2027, expanding at 11.24% from 2022 until 2027. In Malaysia alone, the food service sector is the greatest contributor to Malaysia's halal economy, with sales revenue estimated at RM 128.8 billion in 2021. Understandingly, halal consumers now are not dominated by Muslims only, but are also non-Muslim starting to consume and purchase more halal food, more products and services, as they believe that halal food are guaranteed safe, healthy and of good quality. Unfortunately, the idea of halalan tayyiban is still not well understood by Muslims generally, as there are so much new trending food and restaurants that are so tempted to not left behind to be tried by our adolescents. According to National Health and Morbidity Survey NHMS 2017, as stated in the Adolescent Health Survey, it is found that despite being more technologically adept, the younger generation is more vulnerable to food trends, as they have high levels of energy and curiosity to try new food that is on trend. However, it is worth noting that not all restaurants in Malaysia are certified halal by our authority, JAKIM. Okay, some restaurants did not serve prohibited food like pork, but the halal status of the restaurant is still doubtful since they display no pork or pork-free signs. Okay, because one cannot necessarily consider restaurant with such signs is selling halal food. So, to simply understand what halalan and tayyiban is, halal means allowed and that which is lawful for humans to consume, to do or to act, and there is no punishment will be imposed on the doers. While tayyib means good, delicious and pure, when these two concepts of halal and tayyib are combined, the term halalan tayyiban carries with it a meaning that is both halal and positive connotation. While haram is the opposite of halal, means prohibited and unlawful for humans, and punishment will be imposed on those who consume haram food or act haram activities. If we read and contemplate the meaning of verses in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the word halal more than 30 times, which covering the entire humankind's activities. And it includes ways of living, consumption, attitude, clothing, and many other more. So this reflects that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasized those believers to always ensuring their acts, consumption, and everything that involved in their daily life should be halal. But especially on this presentation, we will discuss about halalan and tayyiban consumption. As cited by Salomon et al. 2021, the nutritional guide for halal food and a balanced diet has been beneficially provided in the Quran and Hadith. So it is very important to practice good food selection, food intake and food composition in order to guarantee the food that is being consumed does not contain any nutrients that are detrimental to human consumption. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about halalan and tayyiban, we can see from the chapter of Al-Baqarah verse 168, which means, O mankind, eat of what is lawful and good on the earth, and do not walk in Satan's footsteps, for he is an open enemy for you. So the verse 168 of Al-Baqarah is one of the adamant verses that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands all humankind on earth to consume halal and tayyiban food. And be it Muslims or non-Muslim, Allah command all of us to consume nothing but only those which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it lawful and good for us to consume. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even provided guidance in consuming land animals. Okay, so we can see in chapter 5, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 4, which Muslim need to slaughter the animal first as gentle as possible, as in accordance with what Sharia has stipulated to do so. And that really shows how kind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, in providing sustenance for us human in consuming divine food on earth. And now, let's dive into food consumption for adolescents and why it is so important for our adolescent in consuming halalan and tayyiban food. So, according to WHO and URMC Healthy Encyclopedia, adolescence is the period of life between childhood and adulthood, lasting from the age of 10 until 19 years old, is a crucial time for maintaining an appropriate diet for them. So in Malaysia, as reported by KAU 2022, the Vice President of the Malaysian Association for Adolescent Health, Dr. N. Thiaga, stated that adolescents in Malaysia actually have poor eating habit and inadequate amounts of physical activity. Hence, our adolescents should be encouraged to participate in nutritional education, which focus on educating them proper healthy consumption, and we can get to nurture them in consuming halalan and tayyiban in their daily food consumption. Halal and tayyib food consumption can affect one's body, mind and health. According to Al-Ghazali, when halal food was to be eaten respectfully, not only it can strengthen one's faith, but also can promote physical and mental well-being. Furthermore, good working memory is interconnected with good academic performance among students by consuming proper halal and tayyiban guideline. So in order to get good working memory, it is all started by consumption. Halalan and tayyiban food that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for us is endless. Vegetable, fruits and assorted animal meat are only a few halal consumption that we are blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Provenly, research conducted by McLellan et al. 2008 claimed that adolescents who perform better in academic performance were found to have adequate vegetable and food intake. And this was supported by Florence et al. 2008, also unveiled that students with lower overall diet quality were significantly more likely to have poor educational outcomes. And if we look at both research findings, even though the researchers did not mention halalan and tayyiban specifically in their studies, but it is believed that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided for us on earth, which to consume halal and good food. Other researchers that support with this result is that Ma'ruf and Muhammad 2022 also state that dietary intake has a significant association with the student's academic performance. And that is the reason why our Prophet Muhammad SAW is a person who cares about the nutrition and quality of the food that he takes to benefit it in his daily life. Islam places such heavy attention on halal diet to ensure that Muslims' physical and spiritual requirements are constantly peaceful, clean and favored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hence, the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is upon those who eat haram, because it actually can darken one's heart and cause a life of unhealthiness. Consuming halal and tayyib food does not necessarily rely on the ingredients contained in the food only, but also rely on how one obtains the source of income in purchasing the halal and tayyib food. This is because when once consumed by the source of a bribe or any kind of unlawful action, his prayers actually will remain unnoticed for 40 days and will not be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we can learn from our recent endemic disaster where the first outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in Wuhan, China, proved that eating non-halal and non-tayyib food has caused severe infection and virus transmission. So having said that, we can learn that the food forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is harmful to those who consume it. Hence the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all people to take halal and tayyib food as a road to safety and protection for all mankind. And as a conclusion, the food that a person consumes has a significant bearing on their physical health as well as their mental and spiritual well-being, as that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has repeatedly emphasized in regards to halalan and tayyiban consumption in the Quran for the believers to follow and to pay attention to. Thus, halal and tayyiban in food shall be taught and practiced by Muslims, especially our younger generation, as they are indeed our future generation who is going to be future leaders. So, together we Muslims should cooperate in restoring the way they choose and obtain food, as well as gain more knowledge to better shape themselves and modify their lifestyle and seek for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eternal pleasure. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.